Hey guys, so something a little bit more impromptu and off the cuff today. At the time of this recording, the most recent KH3 ReMind DLC trailer came out about an hour ago, and I wish I had recorded my initial reactions because I was like audibly reacting to some things on screen. Really exciting stuff. First of all, release date January 23rd, which I'm totally fine with because I don't know if it was originally supposed to come out before the end of the year. If it was, I had kind of forgotten. December kind of snuck up on me, so I wasn't really anticipating or expecting to get it this month, but January 23rd is totally fine by me, especially if it means that they're putting extra work into it and adding stuff, putting that extra polish on it. The main thing, obviously, right off the bat, and it's something that I just kind of brushed up against the topic in my big KH3 video I just did, seeing the Final Fantasy characters in Radiant Garden, like that's what got the first reaction out of me. Like that's awesome. Like we saw Aerith, Leon, and Yuffie. I don't know what's going on with Aerith's voice. If that's, I don't think that's who was voicing her in KH2. I know Mandy Moore was her KH1 voice actress. I've never really liked either of them, but it seems like she's got a third one now, so that's interesting. We didn't hear Leon or Yuffie talk. I don't know if they'll get the old voice actors for them, but regardless, I'm wondering if we'll see Cloud and Tifa, or Sephiroth even. I wouldn't bank on that, but I've also seen some people like getting a little excited that Radiant Garden might be playable. I'm not really anticipating that, to be honest. I just don't really know gameplay and story-wise really like why that would make sense to do. I mean, it would be cool. I wouldn't complain if it did happen, if they could make it work, but I think it's mostly just going to be cutscene-based stuff like it was in the base game. It looked like Riku was there talking with them. I don't know what he would be going there for or why he needs to enlist their help, because like really, what are they what are they super good for at this point in the series? I don't know. Maybe this DLC is going to give them is going to breathe new life into their capabilities and their characters. I'm not really going to go over like all the minuscule minor gameplay things that I saw because it moves very fast and I don't feel like stopping down and watching the trailer in half speed. I will say, one of my big 5 negative points that I went over in my KH3 video was like how kind of a wet noodle Kairi is in KH3, and getting to what looks to be playing as her really mitigates that criticism, I guess. Again, like these are some things that should probably have been in the base game in the first place, but I would always rather they added it late than not have it at all. But she looks capable and competent. I mean, it quells my annoyance that she was not super combat active or useful in KH3. Like, if she's still going to be kidnapped by Xemnas with the wrist grab for the sake of the story, like that's fine, but at least make up for it with the inclusion of her as a playable character, which it looks like they're doing, so that's awesome. I haven't really talked about this really at all. The secret ending, not the epilogue, but the secret ending of KH3, it doesn't really, it didn't sit well with me on the first watch, because I've never been into the whole Yozora, God, what's the name of the fucking video game that Rex is playing? Verum Rex? I've never been super into that. It just seemed weird, like. So you're telling me this fictional video game inside the toy box, you're telling me that a character in that game is going to be relevant to the main like Kingdom Hearts plot? It just seems weird. I mean, I know it's kind of rich to say in a game that's a mashup of Disney and Square-Enix. I feel like if the toy box thing didn't happen, I would be much more comfortable with the Verum Rex stuff. But it's like this weird like Nomura vestigial Final Fantasy versus 13 thing going on, where it's like he didn't get to make the game that he wanted, so he's like shoehorning it into KH3, and I don't hate it, I'm just like weirded out by it. But you know what made up for all of that was the KH1 callback at the end. Like that actually gave me goosebumps. I got chills hearing the I've been having these weird thoughts lately thing. Like that, it's the first thing you heard in 2002 when you turn the game on, and it's like, wow, those bookends, that's crazy. I love that. What else did we see? Oh, you know what else is really exciting? It looks like we're going to get explorable Scala ad Caelum? Scala? I always call it Sac or Scala. That was something that didn't bother me too much. I've seen some people, and rightfully, kind of annoyed that you couldn't really explore it. It's kind of more like a boss arena, which I was okay with just because I had not seen any, and I don't even know if it was in any promotional materials or trailers or anything like that before the game came out, because I kind of started to stray away from that. I'm not taking my own advice anymore because I just watched this trailer and I'm like really excited, and maybe I've seen like all of the cool stuff already, and now my response to the actual DLC will be muted. But yeah, Scala really blew me away. I was content with the just the environment and the atmosphere of it, even if it was just a boss arena. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna be kind of more fleshed out, which is exciting. I would love to learn and know more about that place, because that was like that was my favorite part. Like anytime Kingdom Hearts like throws some mysterious shit at me, I want to know more. So in terms of the story, like it's hard for me to wrap my head around what's going to happen. I'm under the impression that this DLC is also kind of going to make an attempt to make more sense of that time travel-y portion that I took issue with in my KH3 video. My theory, and I don't know if it's my theory, it's kind of a collection of ideas that I've come across and talked to people about, but I'm thinking that the organization fights in the graveyard that we experienced in the base game weren't canon, if that makes sense. Like, they're not going to be the ones that actually lead up to Sora disappearing at the end of the base game. I'm guessing we'll be experiencing the real ones. Maybe, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, we'll be experiencing the real ones that Sora causes to happen by using the power of waking in attempts to save Kairi. So, like, this is happening, these real events are happening after Sora leaves, and Mickey's like, no, don't go, and he's like, I gotta go, and Riku's like, fucking let him go. It's all going to happen after that moment. Or maybe I'm full of shit, and maybe there's even, you know, information that should lead us to believe that that's not how it's going to work, but I've only watched the trailer 2 times. I almost don't want to watch it again just so I kind of like don't have like super solid thoughts on what's gonna happen, because right now it's just kind of like a jumble of images and I'm like really excited about it. But there's this part where like Axel's like, yo, Rox is Shio, and like this little thing glows and he's like, time to get ours or something. It's like, what the fuck? I love that. There's like about to kick ass. It's like some anime shit. I don't know. Oh, you know what else? It looked like the Dark Inferno was kind of featured there for a sec. Yeah, people, I didn't bring this up in my KH3 video. That's like the only secret or super boss in KH3, and I fought it when I was level 100, not because I was purposefully grinding for it, but because it was like the last thing that I wanted to do, and I was, you know, doing synthesis and leveling up my Keyblades and all of that. Yeah, Dark Inferno is super underwhelming, especially when compared to, you know, the Sephiroths and the Unknowns and the Lingering Spirits of the world. If he's given plot significance and maybe even a beefed up, maybe not harder fight, but more substantial or more story-driven fight, that would make up for it in my eyes. The theory was like, I don't know if there are really any merits to this theory, but like he has like this scarf thing going on that's like similar to Ephemer, which I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not super tapped into the phone game stuff. I'm only like tangentially aware of it through like reading the wiki articles, because, you know, I try to play the phone game and it's nice that it's free. I'm just not big on like it's kind of grindy and just, you know, the pay to win sort of stuff. Not pay to win, but like pay to do better. Kind of unappealing after a while. It just makes me lose motivation. But yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work into the story somehow. Ephemer, I don't even know what it would be. Like, I don't even know what his status is by the end of Unchained, if we even know that. I don't think Unchained is over yet. I really don't know. That's my weak spot. Would it make sense that he was turned into a Heartless? Probably not, right? Or maybe? I don't know. Also, we had Riku and Aqua in what looked like a Land of Departure again. So now I'm like really fucked up with what the chronology of all of this, because I would have thought that if Sora was using the power of waking to like reset time, because they kind of did that when they went from Final World back to the Keyblade Graveyard in the base game. If he's doing that, like, how far back is he setting time? And I'm just like going off of my bullshit conjecture at this point, but see, he went so far back that Riku and Aqua are in Land of Departure, and she's gonna wake up Ven again, but then she's saying like, don't worry, I'm not alone this time. So is she going back to the Dark World for something? Like, or I don't know. I just don't know. Now I'm kind of pissed that I have to wait until January 23rd. That's the end of January. Damn it. Well, back to Yozora again. Maybe I'll be more okay with it if there's some sort of... No, actually, no, I don't know if I will be. Like, Sora is, like, running towards him, I guess, because he kind of looks like Riku. He's like Riku Noctis hybrid baby. Does he have any relation or relevance to Riku or something? Would that make it more weird or less weird? Would I be more annoyed with it or less annoyed with it? I couldn't tell you. You know what? I wonder how the DLC is going to end actually, because you know, ending with Sora quote unquote dying or being dead. Like obviously we knew that that was not going to stick. Like you know, people were very upset by that, and it didn't sit super well with me on initial viewing. Because I was just like, just let them have the moment, you know, just let Sora and Kairi be together at the end there. But obviously, you know, like, well, it's Kingdom Hearts. Like, he's not dead. He's going to be back, you know, as soon as humanly possible. So what kind of note is KH3 going to end on? I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like more of a teaser towards, you know, Master of Masters black box stuff. I have no anticipation that any foreteller stuff is going to be going down in this DLC. I've seen some talk about that. I really don't see that. We are getting scenes of Luxord and Xigbar talking in the Keyblade Graveyard, which I want to get back to that. But I think it's mostly just going to be a more setup for future arcs, which, you know, that's something that I've seen people have issues with. Like, there's too much setup in this game. Yeah, I could see the frustration with that, because, you know, you put KH3 in expecting it to tie up all the loose ends. You know, I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen, because Nomura said, like, this is going to be the end of the Xehanort arc. Like, we're not going to see Master of Masters in the game, which he might be pedaling back on, because I feel like Master of Masters was in that other trailer, I think. Then again, it was not the base game, so technically it's not a lie. But yeah, like, you know, the stuff with Lee and Isa talking about this girl who everyone is assuming is Skuld, which I agree with, but you know, I wasn't crazy on that, like, because it's like, oh, we've spent like 4 games with these characters and they've never once mentioned this girl. You know, there's plausible deniability that it never happened to come up, but at the same time, it's like, I do want to play more Kingdom Hearts games. Like, I would love to live long enough to play KH4, so I can't hate it too much. It's giving me stuff to look forward to. Like, if KH3 just cleaned up everything and left everything all said and done, like, there's nothing to speculate or worry about, then that would be... there'd be a hole in my heart. I don't know what I would look forward to in terms of the series. Like, just waiting for a game to come out? No, I want to have stuff to wonder about and look forward to. Like, details and specifics and, you know, storylines, character arcs. Oh, last thing, and it's not a super conclusive or generalizing point to end on, but, like, Luxord and Xigbar, who is Lushu, talking in the Keyblade Graveyard. Like, I'm starting to wonder, like, how much does Luxord have to do with all this? Because, you know, he gives Sora that what's he called? The wild card? He gives him the wild card at the end of their fight in the Keyblade Graveyard against Sora. I'm thinking that's going to be used to get Sora out of, you know, whatever situation he finds himself in the secret ending, which I'm guessing, you know, people are saying, or were saying, that it was Shibuya, which, I don't know. That also seems weird to me. That's why the secret ending was, like, it's so weird to me. Like, it's Shibuya, and we're doing Reaper's game, maybe, but also Yozora, and it's, like, video games in video games. I don't like that. But yeah, like, Luxord, you know, he has the element of time, and there's all this time travel going on, and, you know, we know that Larxene and Marluxia are from the fairy tale days, and Xemnas was, you know, hinting to all of them back in that interlude scene that I love that's not filler, that they have, like, this ancient Keyblade secret inside them, and Luxord, like, controls time, so, like, how involved is he? Like, I'm guessing he has played some part in getting all these characters from the past into the future, so how tied into, you know, the Master of Masters and Lushu stuff is he? Like, I ran a poll on the Kingdom Hearts subreddit, like, months ago, just in, like, a general discussion. And it was just like, it was a straw poll, and it was like, who do you think the Master of Masters is? I listed all of, like, the popular stock choices. Like, Demyx actually won the poll, which I'll be kind of annoyed if that's where they go with it. Like, I know they have, like, similar mannerisms and stuff, but before we knew that Xigbar was Lushu, I and many other people were saying, you know, Xigbar and Master of Masters, they have similar mannerisms, and now everyone's saying, you know, it's Demyx and Master of Masters, they're the ones with the similar mannerisms, and I don't know, I feel like that's like a hindsight's 2020 kind of thing. I think Xigbar and Master of Masters were much closer. I thought that Xigbar was the Master of Masters. It turns out that Xigbar is Lushu taking on the personality traits of the Master of Masters, not like in a Metal Gear, like my arm is sentient and I'm like developing or carrying the memories of the arm's previous owner. More so like you hang around a person for a long time, you start to pick up on their quirks and their idiosyncrasies, or like living in a different country and picking up an accent. Where was I going with this? Oh, right, so the poll. Yeah, so Demyx was number 1, and then like a completely original character was one of the options. That was like number 2, I think. And then the rest were like, you know, single-digit votes. But I listed Luxord as one of the options. It was kind of like a throwaway option, but now I'm starting to think, like, is Luxord the Master of Masters because of the time travel? And like, you got Lux, Lush, you know, like, well, actually it's Luxord, right? I haven't been saying it right this whole time, but it's like one of those things, You know, after playing Chain of Memories, I said Marluxia on the GBA at least, and then when I got Rechain in 2008 or 9, whenever that came out, and they were saying Marluxia, I was like, what? That took me like 3 years to get used to. But yeah, I'll never get used to Luxord. They're gonna have to say it 40 times for me to even have a chance at saying it right in this DLC. Okay, that was kind of meandering, and I'm gonna have to edit this a lot because I kind of just went off on tangents, and even then I think it's still gonna be pretty incomprehensible, but I just wanted to get my initial thoughts out while they were fresh. You know, obviously after I played the game, or after I played the DLC rather, I'll probably make a video just on that and my thoughts and feelings about it on a more structured and written out scripted level. But yeah, thanks for listening to this meandering rant of a very excited fan. It's an exciting time to be a Kingdom Hearts fan, believe it or not, in the aftermath of KH3. Who would have thought that? I know this was different. Let me know if you liked it or not. I don't know how many more opportunities I would be afforded to do something like this, but if it comes up, you know, if it's not garbage, I'll do it again. Alrighty, goodbye!